Gene Hackman and his wife, Betsy Arakawa, were found dead in their Santa Fe home, leaving the world in shock.
I have no idea. I'm not inside the house. It's closed. It's locked. I can't go in. But I see that she's laying down on a floor from the window.
Even more shocking was Hackman's dark confession to Robert Duvall just weeks before his death. He spoke of secrets about Hollywood's elite that could shake the industry.
But I wouldn't want to play the part, It's funny that I never had any large goals as an actor.
Was his death just a tragedy, or did he uncover something dangerous? In this video, we will explore the mystery of his final days and the secrets he shared with his friend before passing. Let's dive in. Gene Hackman was a Hollywood legend. He had respect, awards, and success, everything most actors dream of. Twice, he held an Oscar in his hands. But the same industry that made him a star also made him miserable. Hollywood was a machine which used people, then tossed them aside, and Hackman saw through this illusion. He never chased fame or fortune. He loved acting for what it was, telling stories, feeling emotions, and bringing characters to life. In his early years, he struggled, but he never gave up hope. He fought his way from rejection to success, yet he soon learned that Hollywood didn't reward passion, it rewarded obedience. For years, he played along. He smiled for cameras, attended events, and let the media define him. But the more he saw, the more he felt trapped. Winning an Oscar for The French Connection should have been his greatest moment. Instead, it broke him. He told Robert Duvall that after accepting the award, he hid in a restroom and fought back tears. He wasn't happy. He felt lost. "I started for passion. Hollywood made me forget that," he said. That night, he realized the truth about Hollywood. It didn't reward talent. It rewarded those who played the game. Gene Hackman became a Hollywood legend with The French Connection and Unforgiven. But instead of enjoying fame, he stepped away from it. He avoided award shows, skipped after parties, and refused to pose for staged photos. It wasn't shyness or arrogance, it was pure disgust toward Hollywood. Even after retiring, that disgust never left him. Hollywood kept offering him major roles, even in his 90s, but he refused. He never wanted to return to what he called a glittering cage. Just 2 weeks before his death, he told Robert Duvall that the industry thrived on fake friendships. The smiles, the handshakes, the applause, it was all an illusion. One moment they cheer for you, the next they're making deals behind your back, he said. But it wasn't just the fakeness that troubled him. Hollywood didn't just use people, it consumed them. Hackman admitted he should have left sooner before it took hold of him. But what haunted him the most was a deal he wished he had never made. What was that deal? What truth had he kept hidden? He only shared it with Robert Duvall, and he is finally ready to reveal it all after Hackman's passing. When Gene Hackman left Hollywood, many assumed it was due to his failing health, but that was only part of the truth. He told Robert Duvall that Hollywood had become suffocating for him. For Hackman, retirement wasn't just a break, it was an escape. Decades in the industry had drained him, and he wanted out. But Hollywood doesn't let go easily, especially those who know too much. It wasn't just about his talent. He had seen and heard things that powerful people didn't want him to remember. So, they followed him. They reminded him again and again that no one truly leaves Hollywood. After stepping away, Hackman vanished. He stopped giving interviews, turned down gigs, and built a quiet life in New Mexico. Yet Hollywood still found him. Scripts arrived at his doorstep, though he never shared his address. Mysterious couriers left film offers from unknown sources. Hackman tore up every script. He wanted nothing to do with it. But the industry refused to let go. They called. They invited him to award shows. They offered him one last film. He rejected them all. The more he resisted, the more restless they became. Now first, like always, be sure to hit the like button down below. It helps us out tremendously with the reach of this video. Thank you. Gene Hackman's life was never just about fame or success. Beneath his strong presence and unstoppable drive, there was a wound that never healed, a deep pain that shaped everything he became. At 13, he watched his father walk away from their family without a second glance. No hesitation, no regret, just a man leaving, never looking back. The last words his father said were cold and final. "You'll never amount to much." Those words didn't just hurt, they left a scar. They became the fire that pushed Hackman forward. the voice that haunted him through every failure and doubt. He learned young that people you trust can leave, and once they do, nothing is ever the same. His mother did her best, but life was hard. Money was tight. The world felt unsafe. Hackman realized that if he wanted a future, he had to fight for it. That fight made him tough. He built walls, kept his pain hidden, and never let himself be weak. But the anger never left. It fueled him, drove him, made him rebel against anything that tried to hold him back. At 16, desperate for change, he lied about his age and joined the Marines. Not for love of country, but to escape, to prove to himself that he was more than his past. But the Marines weren't a place for healing. They demanded obedience, something Hackman refused to give. He questioned their authority, clashed with superiors, and got demoted multiple times. Yet they didn't break him. They made him stronger, more determined, more fearless. And that strength, that refusal to be controlled, led him to Hollywood. For Gene Hackman, acting wasn't just a job, it was his lifeline. It was his way of taking back the power he lost as a child. On stage, he could shape his own story, control his destiny. But he never imagined that Hollywood would become another kind of prison. Breaking into the industry wasn't just hard, it was brutal. Rejection became his daily reality. He was told he wasn't handsome enough, not the right fit, too intense. Casting directors dismissed him without a second glance. It wasn't just about talent. It was about who you knew and how well you played the game. Hackman had neither power nor connections. Then, finally, his break came. A real role. A chance to prove himself. Overjoyed, he celebrated at home, convinced this was the beginning of something great. But Hollywood wasn't what it seemed. One day, he told Robert Duvall, "You don't choose Hollywood. Hollywood chooses you." Early in his career, Hackman dreamed of roles that would challenge him and show his full talent. But Hollywood kept him in a box, offering the same roles over and over. "They deliberately boxed me," Hackman said. At first, he thought it was just the industry. Later, he realized they had planned it. No matter how hard he tried, Hollywood kept him in one category. When he asked for different roles, they never came. It wasn't about his talent, it was about control. Hollywood decided what he could be. He was never allowed to show his true range. 2 weeks before his death, Gene Hackman made a call to Robert Duvall that would stay with him forever. For years, he stayed silent. But 2 weeks before his death, he couldn't hold it in anymore. The guilt, the regret, the truth he had buried it for too long. That night, he picked up the phone and called Robert Duvall. And when Duvall answered, Hackman whispered the words that sent chills down Duvall's spine. "We sold our souls for fame." His voice was quiet, heavy with a truth he'd carried for years. In a low tone, Hackman shared something he'd never told anyone before. He had been forced into Hollywood's powerful, hidden circle, a group that controlled everything: careers, awards, scandals. Hackman said, "This isn't just about Hollywood, it's about power." Hackman spent his life trying to stay free, but now, with nothing left to lose, he finally spoke the truth. He said, "Even when you think you've left, they still own a part of you." The call ended with one last plea: "We must fight back." Robert Duvall struggled with sharing his friend's message. Would people understand, or would they dismiss it as an old man's rambling? In the end, he spoke the truth. He owed it to Gene, to himself, and to every actor who faced Hollywood's harshness. Now, the question is, will anyone act on this truth? Will Hollywood change, or will it silence the brave voices who speak out? Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.